Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Vol Report from OptionPit.com. It's Ian Giovinazzi, Chief Operating Officer of OptionPit. Mark Sebastian on special assignment. It's very flashy, Ian. We're going to talk about interest rates, interest rate sensitive products around the Fed. For OptionPit Live members and above, it's our free webinar of trying to look at more long-term strategies into rising interest rates, because it's been probably since the mid-90s when rates started to rise. So we'll learn about leaps, looking at the bond ETFs that might work better, some risk management for portfolios that want some higher rates, essentially. So not that rates are going to go to 5 or 10%, excuse me, anytime soon, but it seems, especially after the non-farm payroll number, the die is cast. So it's timely. It is a timely webinar. What do we have? Well, I mean, here's the story. There's the story. TLT back to lows. If I'm not mistaken, we had a pretty decent payroll report this morning, and we're back down to some lower levels here. Higher yields in the U.S. probably going to put some pressure on the euro. It's backing off a little bit, not huge, but we are seeing a little bit more volatility in here too. Again, we have that election this weekend, or that referendum. Let's see, it's possible we might get a little more weakness in the euro as well. Gold, a little weaker. What is not weaker? Well, real simply, oil. We had some short ratio put spreads in here. Probably look to take some of the short puts in today. The thing is, we're waiting for, I don't even think OPEC has said anything. They're just optimistic. So I think it's a good time day to get rid of some long oil deltas if you have them, and reload for what could be the move the other direction, because we just, like my grandmother said, you just don't know. As far as interesting things from a vol point of view, we are starting, again, we're getting down to the low end for VIX. We've talked about a few strategies in here, how to really trade that, because it's very hard just to buy VIX options. If you want to learn how to do that, you obviously can take some of our vol courses. You can go to our store and take a look at that. We are, I would say, probably near the bottom or right at the bottom of the range. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. Really, the question with VIX though is, even though it can drop a little bit, it's, as far as the trade goes, it's how long it stays down at this level. With stocks kind of, sort of holding to this quarter percentage point move per day, it's very hard for VIX to pick up. So we need something bad. We need something, a surprise. The referendum could do it. In Europe, although it seems to not be pricing awfully right now. I think just the one thing you keep an eye on, if you're going to see a little bit more vol here, let's see if we get a lot more vol. They're starting to bid the vol back a little bit in here. So we'll see how all that goes. To be honest, I don't know, although there's been calls for the euro going to parity with the dollar. I think we're so close to 100 that it's almost a shoo-in. It's just when it happens. If they actually start to kick interest rates up here, then I think that could happen, obviously, a little sooner rather than later. So as far as trades go, the banks are unbelievable. They still keep going up, and it looks like the trajectory with slightly higher interest rates is just much better for them. So we'll look at a few things in there today. Mostly probably some just call time spreads with maybe a little protection, but they're flying. We've already had some sort of semi-short treasury type positions on. So at this point, it's just really management. But where is we've seen the one thing that we thought would move a little more would be technology, but it's bounced from its lows for sure, but it really hasn't sprung up and taken off like some other parts of the market. So one thing about the OPEC, it looks like they're kind of pre-pricing a deal, but that could open the floodgates for a lot of stocks that have really been suffering, that really haven't come off the floor. Rig is one of them. Take a look at all the other ones in the group. XOP, right, which traded as low as $20 this year, is now finally, I think these are at 1-year highs. So there's definitely a little more optimism, and probably some room to move if somehow they could start kicking oil prices up. Don't discount the Trump factor if he survives the Electoral College and what he might try to do to the price of oil with maybe tariffs or something like that. Who knows? Still really just don't know. But with that, I will see many of you in our chat room this afternoon. All right, guys. Bye-bye.